So you see, the good thing about this presentation is you know when it's over. There's the Volt. No, that's not the Volt. The Volt's on the upper right. That's GM's plug-in hybrid car. I think they're serious about it. You know, so they haven't taken it off the burner. We've been tracking that for the film. It's a complicated company. We have a complex relationship with them. But you know, if they're going to do it, we're not just out to be Michael Moore with those guys. If they're going to try to change their act, and I think they really are trying, we got to have them along to win the big battle. And that's the Better Place car in Israel from 3 days ago with a bunch of Orthodox Jewish folks walking by, taking a close look. They all looked in the window, and behind it is, you know, the ultimate symbol of the Middle East in Jerusalem there. So it's a good place for that story to play out. And you, I'm sounding like an inspirational speaker now, but you are a big part of the electric car coming back. And I'm going to play my last clip. Wait, how much minutes? How many? 10? Okay. Well, this is so good. I can't not show this. These were two drivers that were featured in our first film, and there are many more people like this out there today, but they were early adopters, and they're good friends now.
It's a very practical car in a lot of respects. People want to act like it's some wild out idea. If 20 years ago someone said you could have a phone that you could take anywhere, but you're going to have to remember to plug it in. They were plug in a phone and have to take it somewhere?
Why would I do that?
Oh, that sounds like there's a payphone right down the street. It's not just about the car, it's about the principle and the energy of people's ingenuity. You know, we had made a decision that we were going to try to protect these little cars just a little bit longer. We knew it didn't make sense for both of us to get hauled off to the Hooskow.
And they all sit and nobody can make phone calls.
She decided to be the outside person, and I decided, well, I'll get in the car with Alexandra. As it occurred, we drove to block that truck, and at that same moment, the black transport truck started coming out. So we ended up in this sort of, you know, John Woo face-off situation.
A lot of people called and said, oh, I saw it on the news. I saw Colette getting arrested today. You know, it was funny how they were talking to me like, do you know that Colette got arrested today?
I don't want to alarm you.
You okay? Are you okay? We're like, yes, this was a conscious choice.
And so for some people, they, you know, hear the sound bite, all they saw was me like
getting carted off in your t-shirt.
Loud.
But you look great,
black people, you're always sad when you see a black person.
Yeah.
And then it's being taken away, you're like, oh God, what happened?
Well, I'm sorry to have such a boring name after that great little piece, but zero emission regulations, government pressure is a big factor, finally, in electric cars. Pushing regulation, giving manufacturers incentives, making it easier for taxpayers and car buyers. I know that someone, let's see, what is it? In the stimulus bill, there is now a $2 billion, a credit of $2,500 to $7,500, depending on the size of batteries for car makers, and there's consumer credit for conversions. And one of the EV enthusiasts said that there's actually not just $2 billion, but maybe up to $10 billion in the stimulus package to go to people that are willing to take chances on electric cars. And if you go to Plug in America, there's a nice piece on it. We also have Revenge of the Electric Car. We have a link to that. So there's part of the big federal money giveaway. There's a little bit for electric cars. So to conclude, there's a Tesla. That's one version of the future. That's Iron Man. There isn't really an Iron Man, I found out, but there is a Tesla. And there it is in the back. There's another good version of the future. That's an SUV for family. And if you go to Holland and Copenhagen, it's, you know, the bicycle is still probably the ultimate invention mankind's ever done, but it's tough to do on a hot day with air conditioning, without air conditioning with a lot of kids. But I like to keep bicycles as part of my talks. So my conclusions, we moving to Q&A? Oh, okay, conclusions. Fossil fuel age will give way to renewable energy age with leadership at all levels. Electricity is the killer energy app, in my view, and the car is the perfect plug-in vehicle. 1990 EVs were stopped, but this time change will prevail. And the last thing I'll say is there's no need to wait until a car equals a horse. The idea that electric car doesn't have to be a gas car off the bat. Think about how it could work in your life. The future is electric. If I'd asked people what they wanted, they would have had me build a better horse, Henry Ford. Thank you very much.
I must say that's probably one of the most entertaining presentations that we've had today. We have probably 5 minutes, so please, Chris will be here afterwards, but please, brief questions only, quickly. Question is how to convert a current car. You're going to repeat the question, aren't you?
Yeah, there's a lot of information on the web. The RAV4, actually Toyota did that conversion themselves in Japan. So it was a manufactured conversion. But guys, do it yourself. I bet you, are there any do-it-yourself converters here? There you go.
I want to say that TIVA, Tucson Electric Vehicle Association, meets every 1 day a month on a Saturday.
And what's your website for?
TIVA2.com.
There you go. Thank you for that, by the way. Yeah.
The question is that the thought that Shell GM was going to put over another egg in one basket, which was both comes out in 2010. And when I was looking at the projected price of $35,000 to $40,000, that's fine, except it still excludes the vast number of everyday stores.
Yeah, I mean the Tesla's at $100,000, so that excludes everybody.
That's private. GM is the whole private.
True. Well, this is why the Nissan experiment, if they get that car out for under $20,000, or the Mitsubishi, those guys, and other independents coming out to encourage them along. It is, you have to think a little bit that if you're going to be buying the battery, that's the big shift. That's why the extra money. And it's like we're used to buying cars like we're to buying printers. They give you the printer, they give you the car. Think about what your Ford Explorer is really worth. You took every part, and that's worth a lot. And they make money on the service contracts over time. Electric car didn't have that, so you have to pay more up front, but maybe less if there's no battery inside. Yeah.
So where is lithium mined, and what is the world supply of lithium, and how does that scale to the amount of lithium we'll need for all these batteries?
That's a really good question, and there is a bit of energy around this idea of lithium depletion. I think I don't know enough about it to comment intelligently. My cocktail party conversations about it suggest that there's plenty of lithium. It's a very common element, and it comes from all over the world. But I'll stop right there because that's all I know. Anybody else?
We have so much sun here. We have to think about solar systems, and the EV, is that how does it compare with the steam concept of developing energy?
Well, I'll bet you there's plenty of. How many solar companies are here today, or people who work in the solar business? Are you in that business? Okay. So the whole idea is if you can't compete with coal, which is where a lot of us get our energy, then you can't play the game. And coal hopefully will start to be taxed appropriately, and these things come in. But it's a lot cheaper than it was. There is a number here, and if you come up afterwards, we can go through the whole PowerPoint they gave me, and we can get it. But it's under 10 cents a kilowatt hour, I think, for production.